Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to a brand new match preview on the channel. Hope you guys are keeping well as we have a Friday night fixture in the Premier League as we're going in towards the business end of the season now. Just a handful of games left and Wolves are on their travels this week. Well, I say weekend. It is the start of the weekend. The Friday night fixture away at Manchester City. An extremely tough game. But of course, this is Wolverhampton Wanderers. 6 wins on the bounce, 7 games unbeaten. And this is a real big test to see if Vitor Pereira and the boys can continue that streak. As always, be giving my thoughts, the latest from Vitor's pre-match press conference. We'll have the City perspective later on in the video. But before we kick off, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much as well for 19,000 subscribers. And let me know your thoughts and score predictions in the comment section down below as well. But Wolves were hoping to continue to build on a fantastic winning run. It was another big win on Saturday, a comfortable 3-0 victory against already relegated Leicester City, but Wolves made it look pretty straightforward, albeit gave Leicester a glimmer of hope with the penalty, which Jose Sa gave away, but then went on to save. But yeah, now we have a big test. Man City are on some good form themselves. Wolves, though, are in the best form out of any team in the top 5 leagues in Europe. Will that continue tomorrow? Who knows? But I think it's just important for Wolves to be competitive, show what they've built under Vitor Pereira and how they can sort of approach games like this. Vitor made comments in his pre-match press conference about really there's 2 ways they can approach this game. They can sort of go, and have sort of a positive outlook and take the game to Man City, or you can just sort of park the bus and hope for the best. But it sounds like Vitor does want to go for this game. He used the Liverpool game as an example at Anfield. We were really poor in the first half, fantastic in the second half, because in the second half we like to attack Liverpool, we like to get at them a little bit more, and we thought, we caused them problems. And it sounds like that's the way that Wolves are hoping to play tomorrow, although they have to be cautious. That Manchester City are going to be good with the ball and look after the ball a lot more. But Vitor, as always, had a bounce in his step and sounded confident. And it's nice that we have nothing to play for. We could just roll over and get our bellies tickled if we wanted to. But ultimately, we're on the most successful run that we've ever had in the top flight in terms of results at the moment. And tomorrow, Vitor Pereira could get Wolves' best ever winning run in the top flight, which would be an unbelievable achievement when you consider how good some of the teams were back in the day. This would be a phenomenal achievement. And it's been a really poor season if you look at it, in terms of, I say really poor. It's been a frustrated season. And up until Christmas, I think a lot of people would have really wanted the season to end. But this second half of the season has been fantastic. And to have this momentum and to be winning games and scoring goals and having good performances to go into the new season with would be simply fantastic, and really hoping that we could do that and take the game to City tomorrow. Now, in regards to the team news, sounds like it's okay. Vitor did allude to there's maybe some small issues, but the players still have to train today, I believe. And part of tomorrow, I think he made out as well, to have a look at these issues. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. And with that in mind, we'll flag up my team on the screen right now. And I think it's going to be unchanged from that Leicester game. I think right now that is the strongest team. This is a team that seems to be working quite well. Jose Sa in goal. A back 5 of Ryan Ait-Nouri, Totti Gomez, Agbadou and Matt Doherty with Nelson Semedo at right back. João Gomez and Andre, it's going to be a fantastic test for them tomorrow. Really interested to see how they get on against an opposition of this sort of calibre and level. And then a front three, Matheus Cunha, who continued his strong season last weekend against Leicester. Jurgen Strand-Larsen added another goal to his tally to match Raul Jimenez's first season in terms of goals. And Marshall Monetti, again, hopefully adding that energy to that front line, hopefully can cause Manchester City some problems tomorrow. But yeah, I'm really hoping that we can continue the strong run. It's not going to be easy. City are a fantastic team, but it feels like when Wolves are in form like this, there's sort of confidence is high. There's no real nervousness going into games like this, and I think that's better for football players and for fans as well. My heart rate is going to be a hell of a lot calmer and lower tomorrow against City, and hopefully we can, pull off another upset. 7 wins on the bats would be phenomenal. But we get the City perspective now. A good friend of mine, Luke, from the City Lads, who will give his thoughts on tomorrow's game. What can we expect from Manchester City, and how does he think their season has gone so far? So then, delighted to be alongside Luke to give us his thoughts ahead of City versus Wolves this Friday. Luke, first of all, mate, how you been keeping, enjoying the weather?
Yeah, mate, been out playing football actually all day. To be fair, so yeah, I've been playing myself. Pep might get me in at left back or something soon, but yeah,
No, good man. Yeah, I mean, it's glorious weather. People could probably, well, it's quite bright behind me,
yeah,
but in the UK, it's beautiful weather at the moment. But let's talk about City, Luke. It's been a weird season for you
yeah,
guys. I mean, still in the chase for Champions League football. You're into an FA Cup final again, another trip to Wembley, which we just discussed off camera
yeah,
as well. But how do you see this season? Because I'm sure at the start of the campaign, you would have wanted to be challenging for the title and Champions League, much
yeah.
better. But you're still sort of have a big chance of getting a trophy and getting a big chance of Champions League, which I'm sure Pep would want at the very least.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously everyone wanted us to go for the title at the start of the year. I mean, Rodri obviously did his ACL and he's only just back in training now. So that sums up our season, really. And the whole back four has been just sort of makeshift at times. I know we've spent money, but last summer we spent 30 million, which Birmingham in League One, your
Mm.
friends, like they spent more than us. So yeah, we spent a bit in January, and that's obviously helped us this season. But yeah, it's been poor. Like the poor bit was the 13 game run with one win. That's what killed
Mm.
us, and we effectively knocked ourselves out of the Champions League by finishing so low. We were 3-0 up against Feyenoord and bottled that game. Other games as well, we bottled. And we basically knocked ourselves out by playing Real Madrid, and we were not up for that. Maybe now we'd give them a good go, but yeah, we basically knocked ourselves out of the Champions League. The League Cup we lost to Tottenham right at the start of the season. In the league, we've not been great until recently. Again, that middle patch though, we started the season well. Like even when we played you guys, I think you were the last game we won before that horrific run. And
Mm.
even that game was pretty lucky, scoring in the last minute. So yeah, it's been a poor season. There's promising things coming from even just like since January. Like Marmoush has been so good, one of our best players. And there's a chance we actually finish in the top two, which is outrageous to say. I'd personally just take Champions League football right now, but Arsenal with bigger fish to fry, there's a chance. Only 6 points off them. There's a chance we catch them, so we'll see. But yeah, we're finishing the season strong, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah, it's important to get the momentum between now and the end of the campaign to take into next
Yeah,
season, I suppose. And we're looking at that in a similar thing. Obviously, we're safe now. It's just about getting that momentum. What do you think will
yeah,
need to change for next season, Luke? I mean, Pep's obviously going to be staying. I know there were doubts about
yeah.
that at the start of the season. He's going to be staying now. To mount a title challenge again and be a lot more competitive on all fronts next season, what do you think City need to do? And obviously, you'll have players coming back from fitness. I mean, Haaland
Yeah,
have an injury, Rodri a big
I think
miss this season.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of the problems, like you said, will solve themselves. We just need to try and keep players fit, and I think quite a few of these players need to go out the door. I know you can blame injuries as much as you like, but at the end of the day, if players keep getting injured, it's almost your own. Sounds harsh, but it's almost your own fault still having them. Like the likes of KDB leaving, he's been quite injury prone. John Stone's very injury prone. I think as much as I love these players, some of them will end up going, and they'll be replaced with players that hopefully aren't as injured as often.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. It's a harsh reality of football. I think we will just be better next season anyway. Even if you replayed this season from the start, I think we'd do better if we weren't unlucky with some of the injuries. But it's not all about that. Even just the system's been a bit better. Seeing likes of O'Reilly come in, Rico Lewis has been good. Obviously scored at Wembley at the weekend. So yeah, some new players. And yeah, I think generally we'll just be better next season anyway, without even needing to change much, just from the availability of players and stuff. But we'll spend quite a lot as well.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think we'll be challenging for the title next season, personally. Anyway.
yeah, I think even as neutrals, probably want a slightly more competitive title
Yeah,
race. I think Liverpool have, pretty much had one hand on the trophy for a short while now, anyway. But in terms of the players that have been pretty much available for you throughout the season, who stood out for you? Who's been a nice player to watch so far this season?
yeah. Well, since January, definitely Marmoush. He's so consistent. He's such a hard worker. And people slate even the likes of Bernardo Silva, but Pep said recently he's been available for almost every game. And I know he was
Yeah,
playing obviously in that bad run, but even a player like him, definitely not been a standout performer. But I want to give somebody like him some credit. And yeah, Haaland has been consistently good scoring goals as well, but obviously now he's out. There's not just generally there's not been that many standout players until pretty much January. Like Nico O'Reilly's been so good since. I think he'll win Player of the Season. But the back four, like I said, has been so makeshift. Guardiola, though, that for me is probably Player of the Season. How good he's been.
mm,
Always available as well, and that's what we've needed this season. Players to be available. So
yeah,
yeah, I'd say Guardiola. He scored an absolute worldie against you as well in the
yeah, he
game
did.
in the year. So yeah,
Yeah, I remember that game because I think we had Andre who was meant. I mean, it was a great goal there because I think we went 1-0
Yeah,
up quite early,
Strand
didn't we?
Larsen scored. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a great goal that was, and I remember Gary O'Neill took Andre off at half time, which a lot of Wolves fans still now, if you spoke to Wolves fans about that, they probably wouldn't understand why Gary O'Neill made that change. It was a strange one, and he's turned out to be one of our best players so far this season. Is there anyone in this Wolves side that could line up, Luke, that you're worried about facing? I mean, City probably going to 99% of games pretty confident they're going to get something out of the game, but I mean, Wolves are on good form, got some good players. Anyone that you're worried about coming up against?
it's just the Cooney one because if he's going to United, it'd just be our luck that he scores three somehow. But yeah, I think you've got. I mean, you've just consistently been winning games. You won 6 games on the bounce. You're unbeaten in 7, I think.
Yeah.
And I know you've only played sort of. When I say only played, you played a lot of clubs towards the bottom, but
Hmm.
you can only play what's in front of you. You can only play what's in front of you, and it's almost like you've inflicted losses on them that have made sure they stay down there a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can't take anything away from Wolves. I know people. The general consensus is they've played not that many good teams, but you've won 6 games. I think any club would be more than over the moon with 6 wins on the bounce, even if it is you know clubs that are picking up points against a lot of teams. So yeah, you've done really well. I think generally since your new manager's come in, not only has he been in spoons, but he's also been getting the points on the pitch, like you said. So yeah, I think the whole team, to be honest, Cooney is probably one player that's just banging goals in every week. I know Strand Larsen's got a decent amount for the season as well, but he seems to be scoring goals, which is what we seem to be conceding a lot before this kind of recent run. We didn't really keep clean sheets. But yeah, generally, I think you come to the Etihad on Friday night and you'll give it a go, which is what you've been doing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we. Obviously, City will probably come at us and attack us a lot more than some of the other teams have. Not that they haven't. Wolves have
Yeah,
defended pretty well. I think this will be a real good test for the defence because they've looked pretty solid. Which start the season really poor defensively, and this will be a big test for them as well. And if we can get something out of this game, whether we just pick up a point or win up. I think it'd just be nice for Wolves to continue the unbeaten run if they can.
yeah.
But I know it'll be a tricky game. Is there any chance? I've seen Rodri and Haaland back in training. Is there any chance at all we'll see them in the squad, do you reckon, or is it still too soon?
Nah, no chance. Yeah, I think Rodri and Haaland training sort of towards a week now, but I don't think either of them will be risked. I think if we ever do see them again this season, it'll be the last game or maybe the FA Cup final kind of period. It's going to be a few weeks. I just don't think with such a long-term injury for Rodri, there's no point sticking him in against Wolves, like with all due respect.
Mm.
Even though, if we won all 4 games now in the league, as I said, there's a chance we get second, but it's more, you just look at the bigger picture. If he comes back and messes something up, he's better off just training for me, even for, the remainder of the season. We got the Club World Cup as well, that people, forget about and hopefully can feature in that.
Yeah,
Haaland,
so
maybe, I don't know, but we'll see.
yeah, and looking towards the end of the season, I mean, you've said there is still a chance you finish top two, but I mean, top four or Champions
Yeah.
League qualifications key. If there is a world come the end of the season, you've won the FA Cup and you've qualified for the Champions League. In your mind, is it a bad season, an okay season, or is it a good season?
I mean, you can't, if we win the FA Cup and get in the Champions League, you cannot turn your nose up at that. It's like, most clubs, that's a 9 out of 10 season. Even Liverpool at the start of the year, they've won the league. But if you'd said to Liverpool, you're going to win the FA Cup and get top four, they'd have been
Yeah, there
buzzing
was
with
some
that.
drama.
Any
Yeah.
team, even Arsenal, they've not won anything. Do you know what I mean? They've not won anything since 2020. They'd have been buzzing with that. So everyone kind of has different approaches. I know some City fans are like they're gutted with it for some reason. I think it's been disappointing at times, but there's a lot of promising signs. And if we win a trophy and get in the Champions League, we're basically resetting again to go again next year. But we've got an FA Cup in the bank, so you can't win 5 titles in a row. I think it's ludicrous to expect that. I'd be it's a solid 6, 7 out of 10 season for as a City fan if we do that.
Yeah, I suppose it makes it interesting for next season.
Yeah,
Give you a little bit more hunger to try and win it back anyway.
exactly.
But yeah, I
That's
think it'll
about.
be interesting. I think, like you said, good momentum going into the season. Pep's staying, players coming back. I have no doubt there'll be some recruitment. I suppose the only sort of cloud over that are the charges. Is there still any sign
Yeah.
of that being resolved yet? Or
I think the actual case ended like months ago, but they're just waiting on a verdict now. So I've as I said, like people probably know my views. Like I've always been confident just in the board, and you can be confident as you like, but if there's no outcome yet, then we're just sitting ducks, really, aren't we? So we'll just see what
yeah,
happens. I don't think that's coming out yet, but again, like it's just a weird one. It's been going on that long, like 2.5 years now. That City fans, I think every football fan really just wants the outcome now. We're just sort of waiting about, aren't we? It's boring, really.
Is there any
Talk
inkling
about
of
it
a
almost.
deadline or a date that it will come out, or they're still not
I
said
don't
nothing
even
yet?
think. I think initially, even in like September, everyone was saying like the general consensus was like March, kind of springtime, and then that international break came in March, and everyone thought it was going to be then. It just didn't happen, and now that the general talks, it's been delayed. We're not delayed, but just still
Yeah.
not happened. I don't think it's like a matter of when are we going to do it kind of thing. I think it's just not happened yet, and I don't know why, but we'll see.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Like I said, though, I think the things are starting to go in the right direction for City anyway, ahead of a new season as well. But Luke, if you had to put a score prediction on Friday's game, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Wolves will score. I'm going to go 3-1 City. I think
3-1 City.
just with, again, you've got a lot of confidence with the run you're on, but we're on a pretty good run as well, almost just as good. And just that win at Wembley as well was huge, and the confidence the players have got, and like fresh legs in the team. Like you got players pushing for positions. Everyone will want to start that final. It's probably the biggest. Well, it is the biggest game of the season. It's our only chance at silverware. So there's a lot of kind of competition with players coming back as well, and I think I think Wolves will play pretty well, but I think it'll just almost be like a City were better job rather than Wolves weren't good, if that makes sense. And I can see us, even if you score first, I can see just sort of like a 3-1 to City job.
Yeah, and I suppose you guys are still fighting. You still got to get points on the board to get that Champions League qualification. Yeah. I'm sure Pep is going to want that as much as he wants that FA Cup as well. But no, mate, I'm looking forward to it. All the best for the rest of the season. Where can people find you and your content if they wish?
Yeah, just tap in MCFC Lads, pretty much YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you find your stuff, and you'll find it.
Perfect, mate. I'll make sure I leave a link. Yeah, nice one, Luke. I'll catch you soon, mate. Cheers.
Nice one, mate.
So a big thanks to Luke. I'll make sure I leave a link to him in the description down below with all of his channels and so on. And it's also been a very successful day for Wolves overall in terms of award nominations. I probably should have mentioned this at the start of the video, but Vitor Pereira, as you would expect, nominated for the Premier League Manager of the Month award. That's 5 wins from 5 games for him. And then we did have Player of the Month nominations as well for Ryan Aït-Nouri and Jurgen Strand-Larsen. I was just getting up now the stats for both of those. Jurgen Strand-Larsen played 5, won 5 and grabbed 4 goals in that time. Ryan Aït-Nouri played 5, won 5. He got a goal, 2 assists and 3 clean sheets. So very, very decent. Pablo Sarabia had picked up the chance to win Goal of the Month. There has been some fantastic goals though this month, but his winner against Manchester United with the free kick is up for that award. And also the Wolves women manager Dan McNamara. Of course, there's a lot going on with the women's team at the moment, but he has been nominated for the Manager of the Year award in their division as well. So lots of Wolves players, staff members getting recognition, which is fantastic to see. It's been a really positive end to the season anyway on that front. And as always, guys, let me know your thoughts and score predictions in the comment section down below. Let's hope Wolves can continue their strong run. It's going to be a tough game, but let's see how they can do. As always, hit that like button down below, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hopefully, you continue to enjoy the warm weather here in the UK. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.